Hey, thanks for clicking on my video. This is Rocky, and this review will be for episode 4 of Arrow. Gonna jump right into the episode as we pick up right where last episode left off with Nyssa in the Arrow Cave, pointing a bow at our hero. The situation is tense at first, but then alleviates as she's wanting to find out where Sarah is. And Oliver has to break it to her that, Sarah's dead. And she wants to see the body, and it's very, emotional scene between the two as they both love Sarah in their own ways. So, and you can tell that Nyssa was somewhat jealous of the way Oliver and Sarah's relationship was. You can see that in past episodes as well as this one throughout the episode. We get a lot of Nyssa moments with Laurel, and at first Laurel doesn't really like Nyssa because she's the one that, took Sarah basically in her eyes to the darkness, or opened up the darkness within her, training her to be an assassin with the League. And, she's very upset. Laurel at this point is just straight upset at everyone, it seems like. But the relationship does evolve towards the end of the episode where Laurel realizes that Nyssa did love her sister and that she's hurting as well. And, they leave kind of at a neutral ground, if not slight friendship between them. So it was good evolution of that relationship. For me, the high point of the episode was definitely having Malcolm Merlyn back in Starling City. And just imagining, what he's going to get his hands into for the rest of the season with the Oliver. And, how is he going to get somewhat involved with Ray Palmer and the Queen Consolidated situation. I don't know, it'll be interesting to see. We learn in this episode that his initiated name in the League is the Magician. And Malcolm is very much a magician. I mean, the guy's an expert at disappearing, blending in, figuring things out. The guy's just brilliant. And, John Barrowman continues to just completely play that off well. So like I said previously, he's one of my favorite actors, and he's just nailing this, is Malcolm good? Is Malcolm bad? I mean, he's definitely bad, but he has his redeeming moments, particularly when he's talking about Thea with Oliver. How he's like, I did not kill Sarah. I swear on the life of my daughter, which is Thea. So Oliver kind of naturally starts believing him on that. But I think Oliver still has his doubts. But we'll have to see how that plays out. We're still trying to figure out exactly what happened with Sarah and who the assassin is. I'm still thinking it's Ra's al Ghul, but we'll just have to see in the later episodes how that plays out. But we do get moments where, Thea calls or talks to Malcolm, and, she thanks him for protecting her and things like that. So we get some scenes with Thea where she's trying to reopen the club. And, she's mysteriously has all these backers wanting to help her. I think part of that may be Malcolm funding her, but I'm not sure. I imagine it probably is. But, she was very good at running the club, so it's completely possible she may have got some financial backers. We don't necessarily see any of them, but it's a nice distraction for her to use whenever she has a call from Malcolm. We have a nice scene with Thea and Oliver at a restaurant. And that's where we learn about the backers and how Thea has money, because Oliver's like, I'll pay for this. And she's like, how? You have no money. And he's like, well, you don't either. And she's like, well. So that was a nice, brother-sister moment between them. What I liked about that scene is there's a moment where Oliver tells Thea that Malcolm's alive. And that he thought that's what their mother was trying to tell him. During that scene, Oliver actually grabs Thea's kind of wrist area. Now, to me, it seems like he may have been checking to see if her heart rate was quickening, because I think he still has some doubts about her from the last episode. And I think this may have solidified in his mind that she's lying to him. But at this point, he's not verbalizing it, as he probably thinks she has her reasons, just like he has his reasons to still keep things from her. So, just a nice brother-sister moment there. So that was, nice from back in season 1. They had a lot of moments together, so it was nice seeing those two characters together again. It was really nice seeing Thea actually trying to defend Roy from Nyssa after he got hit by her dart. She didn't actually fight Nyssa, but, it still shows that she has that affection towards Roy. And, the promise that maybe their relationship might be rekindled later on. Well, again, we'll have to see how that plays out, but Thea was in quite a bit, and she's turning into a very strong character. So I'm really loving what they're doing with her this season so far. We get a fight scene involving Oliver and Nyssa when he's trying to save Thea. And Malcolm ends up showing up as well. So we have a fight between all three of them, where actually Oliver and Malcolm are kind of teaming up against Nyssa. So I hope that's, a promise of things to come, because it's nice seeing Oliver and Malcolm work together, because they don't necessarily like each other or trust each other, but they know they need to, work together in some situations. And that scene ends with them, defeating Nyssa, and Malcolm basically telling Nyssa, "I did not kill Sarah. I think your father did." Trying to build that doubt in her mind, which of course she doesn't accept initially, but it puts that seed in her mind. So from that we get right towards the end, where she goes back to the League and her father, and we actually for the first time see, Ra's al Ghul in the episode. And, she's basically stating that, the Arrow has stated that he's going to protect Malcolm as long as he's in Starling City. So now Oliver's basically declared war against the League of Assassins. Not sure that's going to be the best move for him, but he has to hold to those principles he's trying to hold up, back from when Tommy died, and everything else that's happened is he's trying to evolve into the actual Green Arrow character at this point. He's not quite there yet, but you see him going in that direction. So they're really doing a lot of pushing on that this season, trying to, emphasize his evolution from just, vigilante to the Hood to the Arrow to actually hopefully becoming the Green Arrow or taking on that moniker. I love what they're doing with Oliver this season. They're pushing Stephen Amell's acting and physical abilities as far as they can. And he's just continuing to grow as an actor, so it's brilliant to see. The only thing I kind of didn't like about the episode is the way they're portraying Laurel is still kind of annoying me, and the fact that this entire episode she's like, "You need to kill him, you need to kill him. I can't believe you failed again." And she's just repeatedly going through that, and it's like, Laurel, you're the daughter of a captain of the police, you're a district attorney, you've always been about law and, due process and everything, and now you're just like, kill, kill, kill. And at some point she's just going to have to completely break down and rebuild herself. So, that seems what they're going to. They're just really stretching it out right now, and almost every episode it seems like she's telling Oliver, you keep failing, you missed, and for me it's just kind of getting a little repetitive. But I understand what they're trying to do with the character, like I said previously in reviews, but it's just some things I think they just need to go ahead and evolve from there. This was definitely a pretty strong episode. We did get, like I said, the introduction of Ra's al Ghul. Like I said, I still think he had his hands in the assassination of Sarah. Reason being is he specifically said to Nyssa that she was never part of us, or never a member of us. And remember, Oliver said previously that the League never targets their own members or themselves. So that's kind of, in my eyes, just a little nugget of clue that, she wasn't part of the League. So it could fully be possible that he either killed her himself or had it done. Either way, like I said, I think he had his hands in it. So it's just going to be great now seeing Ra's al Ghul as a villain in this show. At this point, we just need to see, I know a lot of comic fans like myself are wanting to see, are they actually going to use the Lazarus Pits or reference them at all? For those that haven't read the comics or seen the, Batman animated series or anything, Ra's al Ghul has these Lazarus Pits all throughout, the planet basically, that allow him to, completely regenerate himself, become more youthful. It's actually been seen to bring people back from the dead, and just, it's a very powerful, plot hook or plot device for a writer to use within the Batman comics with him. Because if they reveal that, they do exist, then it brings up the idea of, maybe some characters that have died, we may see him back. Because personally, I'd love to see that maybe Tommy was, brought back to life and brainwashed as an assassin for the League, and he's the one that killed Sarah. Completely, outlandish theory, but it's just Tommy was such an awesome character, and I just hated seeing him go right when his development was really starting to pick up. So that's something I'm looking forward to as a comic fan, is just seeing how they're going to fully play out Ra's al Ghul within the Arrow universe. As he's definitely closer to the comic as opposed to how he was portrayed in the Nolan Batman films. So it's just going to be an exciting time seeing how he's going to affect the show, and when he comes to Starting City, and how his presence is going to be felt. As Malcolm is definitely scared of him. And Malcolm isn't really scared of anyone. So, like I said, it's going to be really interesting to see how the rest of the season plays out. It's a very exciting time right now for the Arrow series. So for me, it was a really great episode. Definitely encourage everyone to keep up with Arrow as it's starting to build back up, and in my eyes, getting ranked back up with Flash right now. Right now Flash is my favorite comic show going on right now, but Arrow's, with their writing and acting and everything, they're getting right back up there. So go ahead and let me know in the comments below, what did you guys think about this episode of Arrow? Do you still think, do you think Ra's al Ghul had his hands in Sarah's death, or do you think someone else had a hand in it? Go ahead and let me know any questions you have about any of the parts of the episode, any characters, or if you have additional questions about Ra's al Ghul, the Lazarus pits, go ahead and put those in the comments. I'll be more than happy to go over those with you and get whatever information I can for you. If you enjoyed my video, go ahead and ask that you'd give me a thumbs up and share the video. That would definitely be appreciated. And go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you can keep up with my weekly reviews of Arrow, as well as the other Marvel and DC television shows going on right now. That being said, hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye.